Quarterback shit when I'm I said I said quarterback shit when I'm under the center. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie Dottie, he like to potty. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling vibe Molly. Card I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm a shark, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, tower pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Good afternoon and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Chargers Power Hour. I'm going to call this one Future Bolts, and the future is fully charged. Let's go. All right, let me shout out the chat. What's up, King? LA Coast Music, California. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Banana Screen? What's up? Welcome all. Hey, JD, you want to hit Peacock's drop? Go to neonpeacockmerch.com. Make sure to check out, get your Lightning Lad shirts, get your LA Jam shirts, custom tees, custom hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, drinkware, pillows, framed artwork. Seriously, if you can't wear it, drink out of it, hang it on your wall. There's no other artist like Peacock that's done it all. Speaking of a sale coming up, in 3 days, there's going to be a sale. It's going to be from the 4th at 10 o'clock in the morning to Thursday the 7th, and it ends at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It is code UNLOCK20. And then also come Memorial Day, there's a huge sale, $13 tees plus up to 40% off everything from 5:18 at 10 a.m. to 5:26 at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com, get your Lightning Lad shirts or whatever you need to do. But there's check out the sale. I mean, we got it all. But I got a good episode for you. Come on, I'm going to break down the draft. I'm going to break down what's going on. I'm going to break down what our Bolts did. Let's go. All righty. All right. And thank you to the fella backstage, JD. Hey, man, we got one of your boys in round one. So let's go. Speaking of round one, JD, do you want to pull up that Miami player that we drafted out of the U? All righty. Let me get down to it and break it down. All righty. Well, round one, we did this and we took an edge rusher from the University of Miami, Akheem Mesidor, with the 22nd pick in the NFL draft. Let's go. All right, let me break this down for you. All right, the Chargers didn't just stay on script at 22. They executed the pick. That checks. I mean, remember, we were only going in with 5 drafts. We came out of this draft with 8 damn draft picks. So let's go. This was a good one. I mean, they executed basically on every check, every box for both present impact and future stability of the Los Angeles Chargers and this defensive line and everything what we did in this draft. Let's talk about Akheem Mesidor. Beyond just the surface, Mesidor comes in. The league is one of the most technically refined edge rushers out there. Yes, his age is up there. He's like 25, but it is what it is, you know. And he's 6'3", 259 pounds. Let's build with a compact, powerful frame that translates immediately into the NFL. We lost OA, and we're bringing in a big cat that haunt these AFC West and all these quarterbacks. Let's go. I mean, it's the trenches. As I said, we built from the trenches, and we killed this draft. This is year 3. Harbaugh and Ortiz have nailed this draft. I was satisfied. I ain't gonna lie. I said we needed to protect Justin Herbert. We came out of this draft with 4 picks on the offensive line. 4 of the 8 was offensive line, and that was a beautiful thing. I said it months ago. I wanted offensive line. We did it. We executed. We got 3 picks from New England from trading the 55, and we got 3 picks out of it. So we did what we had to do, you know. So let's talk. I mean, Mesidor, as JD, he's a Miami fan. And when I saw that pick, I was like, oh, I got to hit up JD about this. This is a good pick. But Mesidor, this is going to be a good one, man. Look at that. Miami had at least 4 people in this draft that could have been first rounders. But, man, they got 3 of them in there. But, no, if you look at it, that's his 2025 production jumps off the stage. 12.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss, and forced fumbles. Excuse me. But the deeper story is how he wins. He consistently collapses the pocket, something the Chargers need. This is gonna be great. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. Forces quarterback off their spot, creates distribution. Even plays that don't show up on the box score, Mesidor does. He got after Mendoza in the national championship game. He got him a couple times. Man, I hope he gets to him a lot this year. Then again, we'll see when Mendoza hits the field, if he's a day 1 starter or if it's down the road. But Mesidor is going to get to that bull, and he's going to get his sacks. I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm excited. I know Harbaugh was pumped. And the whole Chargers room was pumped when we got Mesidor. I did not see him fall into 22. I thought he was going in maybe around 16 to 18, but being at 22, that was a value for us there. For the Chargers, this isn't just about replacing snaps. It's about maintaining identity. We know it's always with Harbaugh, build from the trenches out. Pause, and man, he's been doing that. With Khalil Mack setting the tone and Tully continuing to develop, Mesidor steps into a situation where he does not have to carry the load immediately right away. That's a great thing. And he can develop under Mack and Tully and learn from these two beasts. I mean, you got a great mentor in Mack and Tully who's growing into a budding superstar every single year. So come on, let's just go. I mean, yeah, so this is going to be fun. I mean, that's just dangerous. It's just dangerous for the rest of the league and for the AFC West. I'm on. He can rotate early, stay fresh, and attack matchups. And when your young pass rushers end up pop faster than expected, that's when defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary's system, it becomes even more important for O'Leary when he wants up front in this new protection schemes, forces offense to make mistakes. And Mesidor is going to be a beast for the quarterbacks. And I'm loving this. I mean, he's a big boy. Pause. But you got Mack, Tully, now Mesidor in the mix. This is good. I feel Mesidor is a pick to basically take Khalil Mack's spot when he decides to hang it up. If it's this year or next, we shall see on that. But no, it's going to be good. I mean, from a roster building standpoint, this is exactly how smart teams operate. You had a need with the OA leaving and departing, and instead of reaching, you land a player with value aligned right at the drop-off. So we're going from OA right to Mesidor. So this is going to be good. But bottom line, the Chargers didn't just add depth. They added continuity, versatility, and upside in a young player to the defensive front and already had teeth. And Mesidor develops into trajectory. He's shown his pick. If this pick hits, man, look out. You got to steal. I mean, I felt we got to steal in the draft at 22. As I said, I thought he was going to go a lot before us. I mean, the names I said was Chase Basantis. I said several names leading up to the draft, and none of that transpired. But, hey, man, I remember at the last show before the draft, I mentioned Mesidor once because that was the first time I'd heard his name projected to us, possibly. I didn't think we had a chance, but, man, he fell. But on that note, the Chargers draft in general was a beautiful thing for any Chargers fan. That all we wanted to do was protect Justin Herbert, and this draft was a beautiful thing. As I said earlier, we got 4 out of the 8 picks on the offensive line. So yeah. So JD, you mind pulling up that picture for segment 2? Alrighty, let me break down. As I said, we had a beautiful draft. Let me break it all down for you. Alrighty then. So the 2026 Los Angeles Chargers draft recap. As I said in the beginning of the show, we had, going into the draft, 5 picks. We ended up with 8. We got 3 from New England for the 55th pick, and which was a beautiful thing. And a lot of these players that we were hoping to draft, I thought we were draft, did not happen, but we managed to. Our needs, as I said, was protecting Herbert. We got guards. We got a center. Oh, man, our center we got in the second round, Jake Slaughter. That was, I don't lie, it shocked me. Because I remember saying on one of the episodes last season, or early this year, I mentioned Logan Jones. I know I mentioned Slaughter, but I didn't think he'd go in the second round. But, hey, let me break it all down to you. So, the NFL officially wrapped up, and all things considered, I personally think the Chargers really did a great, solid job this year. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh killed this draft. We all did. And I'd say Mike McDaniels was involved quite a bit because a lot of these players that we did get were scheme fits. So the fit that Mike McDaniels. Let me start it off here because I know this was a big concern, and even for myself and for any Chargers fan, it was about protecting Justin Herbert. And I've said it many times, the offensive line, that's what I stressed before the draft. And I was stressing the offensive in this draft. And for weeks upon weeks, for Chargers fans, we're saying, let's get our wish. We got to protect Justin Herbert. Couldn't do that. But we're getting Alton Slater back this year. So, hey, but this looks good. So for the 8, as I said, the 8 picks were the offensive line. The Chargers going the draft had 5 picks. Justin Herbert, and just as important as the starters, the depth. We finally have depth on the offensive line, and this is a beautiful thing. When you look at our roster last year, we had a makeshift offensive line. We had a total of 18 different offensive line combinations all of last season. I think that was a league leading offensive line of combinations, but 18 is this crazy. We couldn't stay healthy. As I always say, the Chargers' biggest thing is staying healthy. Something we can't do, and especially on the offensive line. But now that we have depth, this is a beautiful thing. I'm going to say this for a fact. I mean, now with that said, I want to give a real love to my favorite picks, and that's probably Jake Slaughter in this draft, man. I did not see this happening, to be honest with you. I know the Ravens wanted Jake Slaughter, and they didn't even expect him to go in the second round. But obviously Ortiz and Harbaugh and McDaniels say, hey, this is a player we can need in this system. Not only that, he can't play. He's gonna play left guard. That's perfect. So the depth is going to be perfect for the Chargers this year going forward. Now, as I said, I thought Slaughter was my favorite pick, and I have a couple favorite picks, but for the offensive line, Slaughter was great. I think the selection kind of got buried in the noise of the draft. It was a quiet pick. No one thought, because we just signed Biotish for 3 years, but we have our center of the future. So you look at it that way. We also, by that, the Ravens needed a center, so they didn't get anything in the draft. So they're going to have to go out and get one, and they wanted Slaughter. So that's a perfect, hey, stealing from the Ravens, but hey, that's all good. But I think he's going to be a very special player for them. I mean, he's going to learn under Biotish, but be able to have that versatility to play left guard is huge for us. Because left guard, we're going to need. Yes, we have Slater not, but this is going to be a beautiful thing. Remember, I mentioned with Slater's injury that he's coming back from. It's not a one that you're ever 100%. So we are going to have that stability of another player that can step into that role also. So that's another beautiful thing. I mean, Slaughter, he's incredibly intelligent, has a lightning fast processor. That's great. Up here, football knowledge is great. And his command on the line of scrimmage really stands out. I mean, I watched a couple of some tape of Slaughter, and then I watched some Florida games, but I wasn't really a huge Gator fan. But I did see some games of him. But I mean, his ability to make adjustments and read defense is something you have to acknowledge. And you think about this, the last time Justin Herbert had a center with that kind of football IQ, it was Corey Linsley, man. And Herbert went for 5,000 yards that season. So, man, if you get that, come on, we're talking Corey. I mean, that's probably the best center I've seen the Chargers have was Corey Linsley, man. He kept Herbert's jersey clean. Did Herbert get hit? Not much at all. Now, if Jake Slaughter can turn into something like Corey Linsley, I swear to God, we got a goddamn steal in the second round for sure in Slaughter. And then to learn learn under Biotish for the next couple of years, it's going to be a beautiful thing, I think. I mean, really, that's not a coincidence. Now let's talk about the first round pick. I mean, as I said, Mesidor, I was ecstatic, man. I was text. I think I text JD. I go, God damn, we got one from the U. But I mean, shout out to JD and the Miami diehard fan, the Guccini. JD nailed it, man. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he does on the Chargers, though. This dude is as I said earlier, I feel that Mesidor has the potential to be a second best edge rusher in this entire class behind David Bailey. That's just my personal opinion. He's pro ready. He's a plug and play edge in round one. It was in my notes and I forgot that. He's an absolute beast, a game wrecker, the kind of player offenses have to account for in every single snap. And pairing him with Khalil Mack, that's going to be scary that's going to be nasty. I'm really excited to see what this duo can do off the edge and wreak havoc on quarterbacks. Now, I know some Chargers fans were a little concerned about his age. I mentioned that earlier, but you know what? We can't really do anything about that. I mean, let's be real about it. This team is technically, by making that kind of move at 22, I feel this is a basically win now football team. That's what I feel. If you're going after a 25-year-old edge rusher, not a 21-year-old, or you're technically a win now team. So to me, that's what kind of window we're looking at, is a win now team. That's what I got from that and this kind of move. But by the time his contract expires, long-term decisions come into play. Justin Herbert will be around 33 years old, and that championship window might be just tightening up anyways. What's up, Crooked Commish? Thanks for joining, brother. Hey, head on over to the Chicago Clubhouse. Check out the Crooked Commish. He's a Bears lover. You know, we have our differences of opinion, Crook. You're a Cubbies fan, but man, he puts out some good fantasy stuff, and he loves his Bears. He loves all his Chicago fans, and he loves all his Chicago teams. So head on over to the Chicago Clubhouse. He does mock drafts, has great stuff, and we have wonderful collaborations with the Crooked Commish. And it's a pleasure, man. And thank you for joining in, man. Hey, you guys killed the draft, Commish. You got a nice safety over there on your first round pick. That was a nice, impressive pick, and now as for we did get an offensive player who was the fastest player in the NFL draft in Brenen Thompson from Mississippi State, who ran a 4.28, or is it 4.26 or a 4.28 40-yard dash. So technically, Mike McDaniels went to bat for him. And I remember seeing the thing on social media. He said he'll take his shirt off if you can get me Brenen Thompson. So this was a Mike McDaniel pick. So technically, he is this pick, the Tyreek Hill of our offense. So, he's a fast kid, but I think he's going to be I think he's going to be sitting behind Q just in case something happens if Q goes or one of our wide receivers go down. Brenen Thompson can just step in that role, but he's got speed. He can stretch the field and pause. It's going to be nice. But I really wasn't expecting going to get a wide receiver. But then again, going into this draft, we had 5 picks. Coming out, we had 8 picks. So thanks to that New England move, we got to do this. And I really think we hosed New England on that trade. 3 picks for 1 was a beautiful thing. And man, the last time we got a wide receiver, who was that trade with? The New England Patriots. And who did we get? McConkey. So to me, I ain't going to lie. New England trades have been kind of working out. Let's hope this one even works out more. Lad was you guys with the ship when you get, out of him. Yeah, for sure. When I saw that one 25 commission, I'm like, yeah. Then I looked into my notes. I go, yeah, it technically win now. But hey, I'll take it. You guys want to ship? You got what you need out of? Yeah, exactly. Time. Just the question is, the time that second contract comes in, he's 25, 29 years old. So that's really. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 29 years old. That's But no, Thompson was one of the fastest players at the combine. As I said, he ran a 4.26 40. And when you start matching that kind of speed in this offense, it gets exciting and it gets fast. You start thinking, okay, there's a little Tyreek Hill. That's what I'm thinking of Brenen Thompson, a little Ty Hill. Impact, here's the Chargers offense, maybe. But really, when it makes Thompson intriguing, goes beyond just straight line speed, he's a smooth route runner, shows excellent body control, and tracks the ball, pause, really well downfield. He's a consistent big play threat. Now Herbert's going to have Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, KLS, Trey Harris, now Thompson. So we have about 5 wide receivers that can go downfield and stretch this field. So it's good. Something defenses are going to have to respect. You can't just cover one. You're going to have multiple people out there that they're going to have to cover now. So this is going to be a beautiful thing for us, And for the Chargers, that means Justin Herbert finally has a true vertical weapon downfield that can stretch the field and can open up everything else up. That's going to be a big deal for this offense. Bottom line, this draft brought toughness, the trenches, explosiveness on the edge, and speed to the offense. That's a pretty strong combination. And the Chargers fans have a lot to be excited about heading into the 2026 season. So So in round 1, as I said, we got Mesidor, who to me is a violent, high motor pass rusher who brings instant pressure off the edge, sets the tone for the entire class in round 1. Round 2, at pick 63, we got Jake Slaughter from Florida. Versatile, rough, in the trenches. Big time addition to protect the quarterback and solidify the interior line. I mentioned it for months. It was about protecting Justin Herbert. And I stressed it. Offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. We had to fix it. We fixed it in this draft. And I was so happy. At first, I'm like, oh, man, we're trading. But when I saw the 3 picks and what we did with these picks, and Ortiz has been killing these drafts. I mean, and in round 4, we got Brenen Thompson. Speed, separation, big playability. This is a field stretcher who can change games instantly. We know the arm strength and the arm ability that Justin Herbert has. Just imagine when these deep ball paws go to Thompson and all these other players and wide receivers we have. It's going to be a fun-filled offense in this McDaniels system. I think that all these boys are going to feed. And then also in round 4, we got, this is another great pick, was offensive tackle Travis Burke from Memphis. He's strong, physical tackle with upside, adds depth and competition to the offensive line room also. Round 4, we got safety Genesis Smith from Arizona. Playmaker on the back end, pause, range, instincts, and versatile in the coverage. And then in round 5, we ended up getting defensive tackle Nick Barnett from South Carolina. Big body in the middle who can clog up lanes and disrupt the run game. We needed that. I told you that our run defense last year was straight trash. We always had problems stopping the run. Now we're starting to adjust it. And then we got guard Logan Taylor from Boston College. Shout out to the Boston College Eagles, one of my favorite teams from living back east. That was the college team I supported. He's a tough, gritty interior lineman with developmental upside and depth value. Now, we also, in the 6th round, got Alex Harkey from Oregon, another strong addition to the O-line, pipeline, physical, disciplined, and competitive. And also, then again, I remember mentioned, before I got into the draft stuff, I mentioned a player, Isaiah Wind, who had tore his ACL at Oregon. And I said that one of the Chargers to try and get him in this draft, I thought he'd fall. But he didn't get drafted at all. But the Chargers, they actually got him. They got him as an undrafted free agent. So I know he's not going to play at all this year. He'll probably sit out for the season because of the injury he had. I mean, coming next year, our defensive line, his big boy is big, like 300 some odd pounds. He's like 6'9". So it's not a position we have to draft next year. We're going to have Isaiah World coming. He'll be ready from his injury for next year. So that's a blessing. So we got one step ahead of a need for next year and took care of this and all that. All right, JD, do you mind pulling up the Lightning Ladd McConkey? All righty. Let's talk about Ladd McConkey and his outlook for this 2026 season. All right, let's talk about Ladd McConkey because this 2025 season didn't quite live up to what we saw from him as a rookie. And I contribute that to our offensive coordinator and play caller, and that was Greg, the old man Roman. That offense was stale. Across the board, the production dipped 66 catches, the 789 yards, 6 touchdowns. When you watch the tape, it lines up with what numbers say. This offense just never found a consistent rhythm. Quarterback play, timing, play calling, it all felt a step off last year, and that directly impacted Ladd McConkey's ability to be reliable at a high level and a contributor week in and week out. You know, Ladd would be up, down, up 1 week, down the next, and then there was never a consistency. And now that we have an offensive mind in Mike McDaniels who can call plays, I think it's going to be a beautiful thing for our whole wide receiver room, our tight end room, everything. It's going to be lovely. We got our tackles back. We got Alt. We got Slater back. We got an offensive line. Just as I said it many times, Justin Herbert with time, when he can throw the ball, now he's going to have that. That's something we didn't have last year. Ladd didn't get that time. Now he's going to have the time. He's also going to be in the McDaniels offense, which is going to be a fast-paced offense. This is going to be a beautiful thing to watch this year. Because at the same time, Ladd McConkey himself didn't consistently play at the level we expect him to play last year, like he did in his rookie year in this offense. There were stretches where he disappeared totally. There were some games they didn't even have, like, he had like 1 or 2 catches or didn't even see the ball at all. And where the separation wasn't as sharp as it was his rookie year, where the impact just wasn't there like it was during his rookie year. But there's an important part. The foundation hasn't gone anywhere. The route running, the intelligence, the ability to be a chain mover and a difference maker in space. It's still there, in there, and that's why he's still an essential piece of this offense and what he wants to do. I mean, this unit is going to take a real step forward, I feel, in 2026. It's going to come down to guys like Ladd getting back to his rookie year form and then reestablishing himself and making true impact plays in the 2026 season. Because when Ladd's on, he is on. This offense looks completely different when he's not on. It's like, uh-oh, what's going on? So we're going to see a difference here. But then again, I'll go from one wide receiver to another. And another wide receiver I have mentioned quite a bit in the past month. All right, JD, you want to pull out that Quentin Johnston 5th year. QJ got that option picked up. And I know, and I'm going to be on this a lot. I've been on it a lot. I've been a QJ truther since he came from TCU. I live right down the street from TCU. I've seen what Q can do. When he was at TCU, it was all about yak, yards after the catch. He always would. That's what he thrived on, was the yak. In the Roman offense, he wasn't given the shot. Now we're going to see what Quentin Johnston is made of. I remember mentioning last show, hey, we had until May 1st. Well, the Chargers didn't waste any time. The day before the deadline came, they said, we're picking up QJ's option. And I'm happy about it. Because you look at it, Quentin Johnston's 5th year option was $18 million. There are people in his draft class that had theirs picked up. That was $27 million, not 18. So, yeah, we got Q at a steal. So, I think this is the year. Q's 4th year, he balls out in this offense because this is the kind of offense that Q is used to. At TCU, it was an all-out, high-powered offense. And hopefully we're going to see that. So let me break it down. The Chargers made a loud statement without saying the word. They're picking up Quentin Johnston's 5th year, $18 million option. And look, this isn't just a routine front office move. It's a belief. This is a projection. They're betting on Q's ability and what they feel he can do. This is an organizational planting a flag that's saying, hey, we still see his upside and his potential. Because let's be honest with you, there's a lot of Chargers fans, I can say it last year, wanted him traded, wanted him cut, wanted him gone, wanted him off the roster. But who led our team the last 2 years in touchdowns? Eight touchdowns each year. Quentin Johnston, remember, only had 2 drops last year. And I can tell you right now, he had a drop rate exactly same as Puka Nacua last year at a 2.4. I'll probably bring that up on my next show because I didn't have it prepared because I didn't have enough room, but I will show it to you on our future show. But no, Quentin Johnston was right there with one of the best receivers in the league at a drop rate. So, hey, Quentin, as I called him Butterfingers, last year I really couldn't call him Butterfingers. Yeah, they could. But, because to be honest, his first couple seasons haven't fully matched his expectations of a first-round draft pick. I know his first year was horrendous. The drops were bad. Everything Q did, it didn't seem to turn to what we as Chargers fans wanted from a first-round pick. No, and it wasn't the Q I was used to seeing here at TCU. So, I mean, the consistency hasn't always been there for Q. The drops have been there part of his conversation. The production hasn't screamed wide receiver 1. No, it hasn't. And I'll be honest myself. Not yet. The key word is yet. But the Chargers aren't evaluating him based on what he's been. They're betting on what he can be. And I'll put that in air quotes, what he can be in this offense. You don't pick up that 5th year option unless you believe a leap is coming. Let's all hope this leap is coming for Q, because you know what? If he does, he's playing that $18 million guaranteed for 1 year. but he's also playing for another contract. Or is it a contract with us, or is it for another team? That's the key question. But he does have great continuity and a connection with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert obviously has had to feel very comfortable the past 2 years, throwing him 8 touchdowns. So obviously something is clicking there. And obviously Herbert probably I wouldn't doubt Herbert. Hey, that's one of his go-to guys. Because as I said, you just don't pick up that fifth-year option unless you believe the leap is coming. And when you zoom out, it makes sense. New offensive structure, evolving quarterback chemistry, and a cleaner role in a system that could be tailor-made for Quentin Johnston. All set the stage for Johnston to finally unlock that size, speed combination that made him so dangerous coming out of TCU. He was a beast at TCU. And this move buys time, but more importantly, it applies pressure. Now it's on QJ to turn flashes into consistency, traits into production, and potential into serious results. So on that one, because the Chargers just showed that they showed their hand. They're all in on a breakout QJ year. So I had another segment, so I'm going to try to put all the QJ stuff together. So when you really dig into the usage of production of Quentin Johnston last season, the disconnect jumps off the page. He was inconsistent. He had a good game. I remember early in the season, he was balling out for us. I remember my fantasy team was loving it. I think he had 3 or 4 straight double-digit fantasy point seasons in the beginning of the season for me. So his efficiency thing didn't all year. It screamed. On a tiny sample size, just 8 routes, Johnston turned every single one of them into a catch. That's like 8 targets to 8 receptions and 49 yards. Good for an eye-popping 6.1 per route. Now, yes, small sample size, but 100% efficiency isn't an accident. That's the ball in his hands quickly, but I think he worked on his hands last year, of catching the ball. Hey, shout out Derek. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, man? Hey, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and taking the time of the day. But, I mean, I'm hoping we get the production from Q this year. I'm hoping we get it from all our wide receivers. Shout out to all my Chargers fans that really want a Q gone. I hope he proves them all wrong this year, because you know what? It's about growing. It's about development. You don't just happen to grow. I know it takes time. Look, I mean, not everyone's perfect, even myself. But when you look at, it's all going to come down to the system of Mike McDaniel putting our wide receivers in the right position and the right way in the position for them to thrive in this offense. And I think Mike McDaniel is that kind of mind that can tap into Q's capability, talents, and execute them to the right ways. And so he thrives in this offense. And I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to have speed from Brenen Thompson, Ladd, Q, KLS, and Trey Harris. Our wide receiver room is a packed room. We have 5 mouths to feed. Now, I don't know. I know we've been connected to Keenan Allen. I know we've even been connected to freaking recently was the ex Deebo Samuel. But we know what Deebo did under Mike McDaniel. He had 1,500 plus yards that year. So over at San Fran. So we don't know. Does Keenan Allen quite fit this high-powered offense of speed that Mike McDaniel brings? I know a lot of Chargers fans would want to bring Keenan back. I'm on the fence. I really am. I love Keenan as a guy, what he's done for the Chargers. I thank him for all he's done for the Chargers. But the way our offense is and how packed our wide receiver room is, it's going to be hard to bring a man back. Where is his going to be? Is it going to be more of a leadership role as a veteran presence? Because really, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that wide receiver room. So even bringing Deebo over, it's a crowded room. So, as I said, because last season, if anything showed us, it's this. Quentin Johnston doesn't need to be reimagined. He just needs to be properly used. And I'm going to stress it again. That Greg Roman offense was, to me, it was stale. it's always a run-first offense. Yes, we passed here and there, but was Q used to his ability under Greg Roman? Not really. So we shall see what Q can do in this Mike McDaniel offense. And, man, he's playing for another contract, so we shall see. Yeah, I mean, Mesidor is good. Derek, I cannot wait to see what Mesidor does for these Chargers. Oh, for Derek, I think I got Mesidor in I think it was the D-Gen. And let me tell you where I took him. I think I took Mesidor in the D-Gen, and I'll tell you where I took him. And this is my only share. I took Mesidor with at the 2-1. I had the 110, 112, and 2-1. So I took Mendoza with my first pick. I took Sadiq at the 110. I took Cooper at the 112. And then on the 2-1, I took Mesidor. But that's just me, Derek. I had to get my only share of Mesidor because I didn't think I was missing out on IDP players. So I had to take him. So that's why I took him at the 2-1. But on that note, I'm going to get to another wide receiver who I think is going to thrive in this offense. JD, you want to just grab a drink? Yeah. Derek, that's where I took him yesterday. I'd just rather give you an honest opinion. And that's in one of our leagues. So, yeah, it was a 2-1. I've seen him go. He's been going quite high in our leagues, Mesidor. So I was able to grab him there. Because I wanted to get, who was it? The top linebacker, and I wasn't able to get him there. So I just reached and took Mesidor there. All right, JD, you want to bring up the Trey Harris picture, please? All right, I'm going to call this segment Built for Speed, Trey Harris, Year 2 Explosion. All right, when you look at Year 2 wide receiver breakouts, it usually comes down to one thing. Fit meets opportunity. And for Trey Harris, this is the perfect storm. And you know the Chargers, they love bringing the heat. They love bringing the lightning. And we like being a storm. And we can be a perfect storm. And I'm hoping we are a perfect storm every single week for teams this year. And that goes for all the teams on our schedule. Now imagine plugging this skill set into a Mike McDaniel style system, offensive philosophy. I mean, motion, heavy spacing, driven, designed to stress defenses horizontally and vertically, where things get dangerous. Because Harris isn't just a possession receiver. He's a movement, a weapon, waiting to be unlocked. But there I said, damn, he's gone in a league. I'm a rookie draft. He went 5-6 in the rookie draft. Yeah, he fell late. Yeah, because everyone was there was some top rookies on IDP, Derek, that went really fast. Even in the next gen, I wanted to try to get him. I wasn't able to get him. He went kind of high. So that's when I saw him, how it went in the next gen in one of our leagues. I just had to take that 2-1 and to say, I'm going to make my homer pick and get my homer pick on IDP. So, because I also think I have Khalil Mack over there. I know I have Tully. I have Tully over there. So that's why I took him also. I wanted someone behind Tully. So, yeah. So, because Harris isn't just a possession receiver, he's a movement weapon waiting to be unlocked, as I said. And this is what changes in year 2. You got McDaniel. It's going to be motion equals free releases. In a McDaniel-inspired system, receivers aren't just lining up at beating press coverages. They are being schemed open, pre-snap motion, stack bunches. All that gives Harris clean releases. And once he's got not getting jam pause, that size plus stride length combo becomes a real problem fast for defenses. Now we have also, as I mentioned, Quentin Johnston about being a yak potential. Now, yak is also a big thing that's part of the Trey Harris. Is a yak potentially finally shows up for him. But also, Trey Harris really didn't get many snaps last year. He didn't have snaps, you didn't see much of him. We saw him a few games here and towards the end of the season, see what they have. But I feel if he gets more reps, more game reps, it's going to be good. These types of offenses are built on yards after the catch, the yak, quick hitters, crossovers, glance routes, screens. Get the ball in his hands early and let him turn it upfield. He's got the speed. This is why in this Mike McDaniel offense is going to be a beautiful thing. We had the speed. We had the players to work in this offense. So I think all our players are going to thrive in this offense. Long as we still stay healthy, I ain't worried about it, man. I think we have the speed. We have the players. We just got to execute. And I think that's the bottom line is execution and also staying healthy. If we stay healthy, execute the right way, there's no stopping this team. That's what I feel. It's going to be hard to stop this. This offense looks good, and I think it's going to be very special than Mike McDaniels. Also, on for Trey Harris, I think number 3, his route layering opens up the deep game. It's good because remember, you got to account for not just Ladd, QJ, Trey Harris, Thompson. You don't know. Someone's going to be open, and with the speed, I think it's going to be good. And we know what the Mike McDaniel system stretches defenses in layers. Short, intermediate, deep, pause, all at once. So it's going to be fun. That means safeties getting conflicted, linebackers getting pulled, and suddenly Harris is running into space instead of traffic. You'll start seeing deep over routes of overplay actions, slot fades and mismatches, late development crossovers where he's already at full speed. That's where the explosive plays are born, and boom, let's go. Now, also for Trey Harris, confidence turns into production. It's really hard last year when you weren't even on the field to have confidence. But I feel the more and more he's on the field and he's relied on as a player and as a threat, that confidence is going to grow in this offense. And as I said, this confidence turns into production. Year 1 is about learning, but year 2 is about owning your role and making a role in this offense. Harris now understands the leverage, the spacing, the timing. So now it's about not thinking anymore. He's reacting to the plays, reacting to who we thought. And when a receiver with a physical profile like Trey Harris starts playing fast mentally, that's when defense is loose. But for me, the big picture on Trey Harris for the Chargers, this kind of breakout changes everything. Now you're not just relying on one guy, 2 guys. Now you got a receiver who can win outside, work the middle of the field, create after the catch, stretch defenses vertically, and that's how offenses can become unpredictable. Now, my final take on Trey Harris. Trey Harris is in the year 2, isn't just improving. He's being unlocked by scheme, speed, and confidence. Man, you're going to need to have the confidence in this offense because there's going to be a lot on each one of these players to thrive, produce, and to be productive. And if the Chargers lean into a modern, motion-heavy approach similar to what Mike McDaniel has built as he did in Miami, you're not just talking about a breakout. You're talking about a player with player defenses have the game plan around every single week. So, come on now. We're going to have multiple weapons for Justin Herbert this year. This is going to be fun. I don't think I have seen a wide receiver room like this in the Chargers for a long time. Many mouths to feed, and the speed is there. It reminds me of the days Phillip Rivers had a couple of speedsters. Come on now. This is going to be fun. I'm looking really forward. Now, I know I mentioned it about Akheem Mesidor. Now, JD, you want to pull up that edge room picture? Yeah, that one. I call it the sack attack room. Man, this is going to be a fun edge room. I mean, if you look at our edge room now, you got Tully, you got Mack, and now you got Mesidor. Man, that's the 3 Stooges. Let's go. This is going to be fun this year. Come on, quarterbacks they're going to have a field day on these quarterbacks. And if it's Mahomes going snap, crackle, pop, coming back from a snap, crackle, pop, that's good. Hey, Moy, you're going to be a pancake when you're coming back. If it's going to be Kirko Cuzzo Chains, he's going to see what an old man he is. He's going to hit the ground. He's not going to have Tully. He's going to have all 3 of those boys hitting that pause. Come on now. I'll break this down to you. When you start talking about what the Los Angeles Chargers are building on the edge right now, you understand one thing. Why in the front office is straight up hyped and ecstatic about this edge room. You've already got Khalil Mack. Man, he's the mentor on that edge. But come on, a future Hall of Famer who still can wreck a game plan by himself. We saw what he did to old man Rodgers in that Pittsburgh game. He sealed the game for us. Come on, and he's still doing it at his age, and that's productivity at best. I mean, he's not just a pass rusher. He's a tone setter. He forces offenses to slide protection, chip with the right ends, keep backs in. And the moment you do that, you're already playing defense. Come on, you bring in Tully. This is going to be fun. And that's where it starts getting scary. We saw what Tully's done year after year. His productivity and his production and his sack total has gotten a little higher every single year. He's grown as a player and gotten better as a player. And then maybe that is a tribute to the factor of Khalil Mack and what we've had in that going on. So Tully is a high motor, relentless, never stops coming type out the edge. He wins with effort, power, and his instincts are off the charts. He's the kind of guy who doesn't need a perfect rush plan. He just overwhelms you, snap in, snap out. And now you add Akheem Mesidor. What a mix. Come on. That's where things shift from a good pass rush to a potential chaos across the AFC West. I ain't going to lie. Quarterbacks are going to have a lot of problems this year. We just don't have a few guys. We have 3 legit players that are going to come after the quarterback this year, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. Now, that's where, to me, Mesidor brings something a little different. Explosiveness and interior versatility. He's not just lining up wide and trying to bend the corners. You can move him inside and outside, stunt him, twist him. Come on, create confusion. And when you pair that with Mack commanding attention and Tully crashing from the opposite side, offenses are going to have problems identifying where the pass rusher is coming from. It's either going to be Tully, it's going to be Matt, or it's going to be Mesidor. You got to account for all 3. So it's going to be crazy, I feel. And you think about this, the division that we are in the AFC West, yeah, you're facing quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes twice a year. You're dealing with a timing offense, quick game concept, improvisations. The only way to disturb and constantly is with pressure. And that's just not chest pressure with layered pressure. That's what this group is going to potential to become. Not just one guy winning, not just one side collapsing, but waves of pressure coming your way. First, it's Mack forcing the pocket to step up. Then it's Mesidor collapsing the interior. Then it's Tully cleaning up the rest of the edge. Come on. They got to have to count for all 3. Someone's going to come for that quarterback. And I'm glad it's my team. So they're going to have to take accountability every single week. We have an edge room. It's going to be fun. And that's how you create sacks. That's how you create turnovers. And that's how you change the games, by creating turnovers and making more offensive for Justin Herbert so he can just go out and do his thing. Now, if this group hits its ceiling, we're not just talking about a solid defensive front. We're talking about a unit that could legitimately be one of the most destructive edge groups in the entire league, I feel, or in the AFC. I mean, I think we have, in the AFC West right now, I think we probably have the best edge group in the West. That's just my personal opinion. Me as a Chargers fan, I ain't going to say anything else, but I feel we have the best edge group personally. But hey, I haven't looked at all our teams, but in that division. But I know I know Kansas City got better. They got drafted 4 out of 5 defensive players. So obviously every single team got better in our division. But to me, I'm only worried about one team, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers. So that's all I'm going to say. And that's why you are hearing phrases like, that's fire. It's all about coming out of this building. They're excited about this edge room. I think we all should be. No one thought Akheem Mesidor was going to be there too at all. We saw the names I floated out were like not even there. I said that for like 6 weeks. I floated names out there. None of those names. But hey, we obviously, our GM and our coach knew exactly what we wanted to do. And as I said, Mesidor happened to fall to us. And we took that gamble, and it's going to be, as I said, because if all this clicks, quarterbacks in the AFC West and across the league quarterbacks are about to feel it. They're going to feel the thunder, and they're going to feel the lightning, and they're going to feel the hits, because these boys are coming, and it's going to be a sack party. It's going to be a sack pancake. You can clip that. Alrighty. So I know I've also stressed multiple times about how Harbaugh likes to build things, and it's building through the trenches. Now, JD, you want to pull up the Chargers draft identity, building through the trenches? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right. When you look at the Chargers' recent first-round history, there's a clear theme. Build through the trenches. Since Harbaugh has been here and with Ortiz here, we have built through the trenches. We had Joe Alt. So we are building through the trenches to make this team better. So, we know we have to compete with the lights of Kansas City, Vegas, and Denver. All three have great defenses. So, and excuse my dog. I'm a little pup here. So I'll get started again. It starts with Justin Herbert at the centerpiece of everything they do. Once you got that guy, the priority shifts from protecting him and controlling the line of scrimmage. That's why we've seen consistent investment up front by the Los Angeles Chargers. Defensive front, physicality at the point of attack. This isn't a flashy skill position, heavy approach. It's internal. It's about creating a bit stability, winning in December, giving your quarterback the structure to elevate everything else. Excuse me. We know the capability that Justin Herbert has, but now that last year, he didn't have that ability and didn't have the protection. You give him the protection. Just think of the Justin Herbert, what he did last year without an offensive line. And remember, as I said earlier, before I started shit, he had 18 different offensive line groupings out there the whole last season. And that's because our health was straight trash last year. Hopefully, knock on wood for us, we can stay healthy. And if we have a healthy offensive line, as I said a couple weeks ago, I feel Justin Herbert deserves to be in the MVP conversation. If that line stays healthy and Justin Herbert puts up the numbers he put up last year without an offensive line and without his tackles, Slater and Alt, come on now. This is going to be a nasty offensive line. And I said, heading into this draft, don't expect that philosophy to change. If anything, it's only going to get stronger going forward. It's about protecting the investment of Justin Herbert. And we shall see. Now that we've taken care of the offensive line and we have depth for a change, something we never had last year. I always stress depth on the offensive line was not there. Now, for once, we're going to have continuity. We're going to have a line that can protect Justin Herbert. And I stressed it for weeks before the draft. Protection. So on that note, so we shall see. Now, I know our coach loves, JD, you want to pull up the coach's picture? All right, I'm going to call this Harbaugh setting the standard in LA. All right, first off, coaches voted him the 7th best coach in the league. I had that from a previous note of mine, but he was ranked the 7th coach in the league by all the coaches and stuff like that. So let's talk about what Jim Harbaugh has already done with the Los Angeles Chargers going into year 3. Because it's not just impressive, it's historic. Come on. He's brought us to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And I know we haven't got what we wanted to do, but I feel this year we're doing what we want to do. We're building an offensive line. We're building an identity offensive line. And now we're going to see the Justin Herbert we all know and we saw when he threw for 5,000 yards. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it. Harbaugh now holds the record for the most wins by a Chargers head coach in their first 2 seasons. Let that sink in for a second. In a franchise that's had to share a lot of talent over the years, No one has come in and made an immediate impact like this as Jim Harbaugh has. Let me know. We know if it was the 49ers, wherever he's been, he's always been an instant success and always turned around these franchises. And that's not by accident. This is what Harbaugh brings everywhere he goes. Structure, identity, and a winning culture. And he's brought that to the Chargers. And we've seen that year in and year out. So 11-win seasons year in, year out. So let's hope for more this year. I'm hungry. I know other Chargers fans besides myself, we want more. We're not satisfied. We feel there's more to come. And this is what Harbaugh brings, as I said, everywhere he goes, discipline. What stands out most is how quickly he's been able to maximize this roster, especially how it's been diminished by injuries year in and year out. Guys are playing with confidence. Roles are clearly defined. And the team has bought in all the way what Harbaugh wants to do. And when you pair that with a franchise quarterback like Justin Herbert, we know that's why Jim came. He wanted to coach Justin Herbert. Now you're not just talking about a good team. You're talking about a team that expects to win every time they step onto the field. Harbaugh didn't come here just to rebuild. He came here to win. He's already proving that this team he's built is going to do exactly that. So I hope so, and I'm hoping for a lot this year. And I know JD, who's backstage, says he has high hopes for this Chargers offense. I hope he's right, because I have high hopes too. I have high hopes every single year. But I have a lot of high hopes this year, especially because we have an offensive line and we have an offensive coordinator that knows what the hell he's doing. And I feel he can put this offensive players in the right position and to succeed this year. And Justin Herbert, man, there's so many naysayers that say you're just not that man. You're not elite. You want to prove you're elite? This is the year. We know what you can do. We saw what you did your rookie year. Let's go out there. Let's throw for 5,000 yards. Let's just show them, hey, I'm that Justin effing Herbert. I'm the man. I'm elite. Put that elite name after, not just average, because I know a lot of people say you're average, but let's take the average off and put elite next to your name. And I feel he can do this. JD, all right, you want to bring up the win total picture? Yeah, Vegas has us at 10.5 wins. Well, Vegas can be Vegas. We've proven that. We put out last 2 years 11 wins. So that 10.5, if that's the Vegas mark, I guess we got to break that Vegas standard. All right, let's talk about the expectations, because Las Vegas has set the standard that the Chargers win total will be 10.5 wins. And that number tells you everything about how this team is viewed heading into this season. This isn't just maybe they're a good number. No, you're better than the legit number. When you're sitting at 10.5 wins, you're being put in the upper tier as like a playoff team. Vegas is essentially saying this is a double-digit win team, a playoff team, and a squad that should be competing deep into January. I hope so. That's what I want to see, because I'm sick of these one-and-done exits. That ain't happening this year. No soup for you. No, thank you. But this is where it gets interesting. This number feels like a bet on potential more than proven consistency, because we've consistently won 11 games in a row, 2 years in a row. We've seen flashes from the Chargers, high-end talent, explosive offense, difference makers on both sides of the ball, but we've also been seeing inconsistency, injuries, and stretches where they just don't pull it all together. There was times last year that one side of the ball that the defense was carrying, but defense was playing, but the offense really wasn't, or vice versa. So let's get all three phases of the game this year. I think we'll be fine. I mean, we're like, what? Where are they? Put it all together. So the question becomes, are they finally ready to clear that bar? Because if you hit the over, you're really like looking at 11 plus wins. That means winning close games. Something we always haven't been able to do is those close 3-point games. We can't seem to get over that hump. If we can win those close games and close them out, I feel we're going to smash the 10.5. I feel I have to take a deeper. Now that the draft is over, maybe next show I will take in a deeper dive of what I feel is going to be a win total for the Chargers. That would be something on my agenda for this coming next show or whatever. But I do think we smashed the over on this one. I mean, as I said, it's about winning the close games, staying healthy, and beating the teams you're supposed to beat. There was games last year that we lost by like 3 or 4 points. I think one was the Giants game. The next game was the Washington game. Those 2 games were winnable, but we just didn't have that fire to like, oh, I thought we had it won. And then we lost at the last moment. I think it was one game was a turnover and something else. But those 2 games that I can recall from the schedule last year was the Washington and the Giants game that stuck out to me. That really that would have been a 13 win team. But woulda, shoulda, coulda. You can't go back on that. But no, hopefully the narrative of what last year was, it's different going forward this year. Let's be real. The margin is thin. 1 or 2 games can be difference between cashing that over or calling it a couple late game losses. A key injury, a tough stretch in the schedule, and some of that 10.5 wins looks like a mountain. So for me, the line isn't about wins. It's about the identity. Are the Chargers a team that is ready to take control and meet expectations? Because I swear to God, the expectations for the Chargers are high this year with McDaniels and all that they've done. You have to put this bar high because you're in the McDaniels. We know what McDaniels can do. And now McDaniels with Justin Herbert, Lad McConkey, and all the rest. I swear to God, I've already started working on the, as I said, I was the fantasy outlook. This is going to be the post draft, but I have started putting the fantasy aspect together. I'm already in fantasy football drafts, rookie drafts already. So I've been starting to work on those things for y'all. But for me, are the Chargers a team and ready to take control and meet expectations? We're going to see that. Are they still talented, but a consistent group that leaves you wanting more? Yeah, because they sometimes last year, they left players on the field that they could have had. They just didn't execute last. I think execution is everything. If you don't execute, you're not going to win these close games. And that's the truth. And that's another thing about the Chargers. These the last 3 years, we're in these close games. We just don't have that to get over it. We can get there. We just have to execute. Because Vegas has made their statement. They said it 10.5. Now it's on the Chargers to prove it. Now, I did put together some Chargers notes. Building in the trenches for Herbert. The Chargers drafted 4 offensive linemen in 2026. The first time they've done that since 1990. That's 36 years since they've last done that. Drafted 4 offensive linemen in a draft. So, hey. And then the Chargers are projected to 2027, next year's salary cap, after picking up Quentin Johnston's 5th year, our cap space next year will be about $101 million. That's with Q's 5th year option. So if it was not that, it would be about 119. So on that one. Now, the Chargers assistant general manager, Chad Alexander, is listed as a candidate for the Vikings GM job. So we shall see what happens on that. And he's been done pretty good job with Joe Ortiz. So it would suck to lose him. But then again, I know Harbaugh and the Chargers don't want to stop anyone if they can grow into something bigger going forward with another franchise. But yeah, either if he does leave or hypothetically, if it's a possibility, hey, I wish you nothing but the best, man. Thank you for all you've done. But I know he hasn't left, but they say he is a leading candidate for the job, that's not. They said, I remember reporting on our show that they said Minnesota was going to start looking for a GM after the draft was over. And a few days ago, blurbs came out that they're going to now start looking for a GM, and Alexander's name did pop up. Now, as for the Chargers rookie jersey numbers, Akheem Mesidor is going to wear number 90. Shout out to Ty Mayberry. I know he said Akheem Mesidor, that would be the jersey he's going to get, so he'll be getting a number 90. Jake Slaughter's going to wear number 66. Brenen Thompson's going to wear number 89. Travis Burke will wear 77. Shania Smith will wear 22. That's my old soccer jersey number. That's a nice number. Nick Barnett will wear number 91. Logan Taylor will wear number 65. And Alex Harkey will wear number 73. Now, as for some key dates for the Chargers, rookie minicamp will begin May 8th to the 10th. OTAs will begin May 26th to the 27th. May 29th, June 2nd to June 4th, and June 8th to the 11th is mandatory minicamp is June 16th to the 18th. So we're looking at, hey, those are dates coming up. We also have a schedule release. Probably, they said the week of May 11th. So we're going to see what's going to transpire on the schedule. Will we get internet? I don't think we're going to get any international games. We possibly, I don't know if we do. I know the commissioner wants everyone to do one international game. If we get one, it's good. But I don't know. But I'm just looking forward to seeing what we got coming up. But I also want to thank the fella backstage for holding it down one more time. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for joining me today. I hope I just if there's anything, but I'm looking forward to put another show together. I probably already have one almost put together. I just got to work on it a little more. But on that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Friday and a fantastic weekend. And minicamp already can't. Yeah, time is flying. You ain't lying. Yo, keep going. Your work and keep growing. Also, who's your favorite football player? Are we talking NFL or are we talking soccer? Soccer is my first love. I played that for 28 years. So if you're asking me if it comes to soccer, I have a lot. I met a lot of well-known players back in the 70s, from Pele to Franz Beckenbauer. I have a lot, but I'm a diehard when it comes to Chargers fan. Phillip Rivers is going to be my favorite. One of them. I have a lot of players, but when it comes to soccer, I love Chelsea's my favorite team. If I had to say who's my favorite Chelsea, I'd probably say there's too many of them there. But I love soccer in general. So that was a year of my. But hey, my father was British, so soccer's in my blood, and that's something I love. But NFL player, it's gonna be anyone that plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. But I love Phillip Rivers, man. That guy reminds me. I'm a hothead. He's a trash talker. I'm a diehard. The guys will tell you, I trash talk constantly. But I love it. Phillip Rivers to me is the shit. I mean, but then again, he's a Chargers legend. So that's to me. But favorite all-time NFL player to me, it's going to be Latavius Thompson. LT, come on. You had that great burst from LT. The numbers he put up, come on. I'd have to say LT for me is my all-time favorite player. So excuse my dog, but no, LT for me. But my dad grew up as a Redskin fan. Art Monk was his favorite fan. So Art Monk and Dan Fouts was my dad's favorite. So that's growing up. Those are players that I was always watching and stuff like that. But Phillip Rivers and Latavius Thompson are probably my two favorite football players. But on that note, thank you everyone for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. If you haven't subbed up, sub up to the channel, because during the season, I may just pop up, not just one show, but two shows, because who knows? I just might be in the mood. But also, by subbing up to the channel, our channel is a fantasy football channel. We do live streams. We do watch parties during the season. So head on over to the Gen Well, sub up, and set your notifications, because we'll be bringing shows left and right. And as I said, during the season, I'm going to be having people from all different fan bases, from the Chiefs. I'm going to have hopefully almost every single fan base on each week, so on the show. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank the fella backstage, and thank you everyone for joining. Have a blessed weekend and bolt up. And I'll see you next time for episode 4.
center. Game plan sick, target under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Carrie. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie, he like to party. Fuck with blow shoot, throwing 5 Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm a shark, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all bitches getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, tap pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.